Hi everyone, this is Chantay. I'm here with the weekend review of my analysis. For those who don't follow me or do follow me, I am on YouTube. It's just my regular name, Chantay Berry. You just can type it and subscribe to the channel. That's what you can do. Hey Joseph. And so that's that. So I'm just going to type this thing. I'm not going to be long because I just finished this project. And when you're in grad school, it's long and I'm tired. So here we are. I'll always will start with the coronavirus because that's what I will do first. So here comes, hey cousin, here comes the coronavirus. So as of Friday, October 9th, 2020, we're almost towards the end of the year. We're 25 days until the election. Globally, we had 36,791,842. That's a lot. I don't have the global death toll in front of me. I forgot to write it down. But the U.S. cases, confirmed cases, is 7,660,123. The death toll in the U.S. is 213,588. Now, I'm just only going to focus on the countries with the top cases, and then I'm going to focus on the U.S. So, India has 6,906,151. So, they're right behind the U.S. Hopefully, they don't surpass us, but is a likely chance they will surpass us. In terms of India, their GDP went down by 23%. 33 million of their children have went back to work under the age of 18. That's crazy. Last time I checked, I thought kids don't work in illegal labor like the mines and the construction, because that's where those kids are working. And parents are sending their kids to work because the GDP is down. So the global pandemic is also causing a recession around the world, just not here. Sad to say. Brazil, 5,055,888. Russia at 1,265,572. Colombia has 894,300. Argentina has 871,468. Spain has 861,112. Mexico has 810,020. France is now above South Africa at 732,598. And South Africa has 688,352. Yeah. Now, according to New York Times COVID map, we have California, of course, is the top with 850,685. Texas has 824,557. Florida has 768,913. New York, which was once the epicenter of this thing, the cases are increasing because the clusters of Brooklyn and Queens at 476,420. Illinois, 317,501. Georgia, 311,534. Arizona, 224,001. As you can see, North Carolina has a little more, 227,756. New Jersey, 213,801. And Tennessee rounds up that top 10 with 207,823. Now, there's some other states that have clusters and hotspots, such as Wisconsin. They're in the red, according to the New York Times COVID map, at 152,831. Missouri has 144,999. There's some other states with some cluster numbers. I'm going to pull that up on my iPad because these states has a lot, and we don't really talk about the coronavirus like we normally do. We only talk about the you-know-who, which I'm going to get into. Him has the coronavirus. But this is the New York Times COVID map. It's free. You can look it up yourself. Give yourself, time to look at it. And you can also subscribe because it's free. Just for the coronavirus. We have places like Alabama, just another place, 163,465. Virginia, well, not too much Virginia. South Carolina has 155,676. What's another place to have a hot spot? Iowa is 97,476. And then you have Arkansas at 91,320 and 313, 312. So there's a lot of states with these hot spots. So it's really, there's really no progress happening. It's only only a couple states that see their numbers decreasing, but it's not even by much, you know? So that's what we're seeing. And of course, we have no national strategy. I mean, I don't have to tell you. Even though there was the who was thinking about passing a $1 trillion stimulus after saying like, I'm not trying to pass anything, even though he got the coronavirus. And speaking of the COVID super spreader in chief, that's his new name for me. Besides, yeah, I said Georgia has 311,534. So their cases decreased a little, but not really. So yeah. The COVID super spreader in chief is going to hold a rally on the White House balcony. After being tested positive with coronavirus as of a week from today. So let me say this again. The COVID super spreader in chief, Donald Trump, is holding a rally tomorrow on the White House balcony after testing positive for COVID-19 last week. And it starts from attending that super spreader event in the Rose Garden for Amy Coney Barrett, which most of them had no mask. And because of that one event, it was over 105 cases, according to Fox 5 DC, cluster of cases, 105 cases from that one particular event. Not shocked at all. I mean, this is the same person, the COVID super spreader in chief, who basically knew about the severity of this virus, according to Bob Woodward. Didn't care. He knew this was airborne, but proceeded not to care. He said, oh, we'll go away like magic, like the flu. Then he said on March 13th, he doesn't take no responsibility, after 2 days before declaring a national emergency. Keep in mind, he is the national emergency and has been for the last 4 years. Then, on April 23rd, he told the American people to inject disinfectants in their bodies. And there was some New Yorkers that did it, which I don't understand why. That Lysol had to put out a statement and say, don't do that. I had the, it was the state, The New York State Commissioner said, don't do it. As if he was talking to 5-year-olds. Okay. May 11th. We seized the moment. We prevailed. Those were his words. We prevailed. Not seized the moment, but prevailed. But it almost sounds the same, right? That's what he said. He defies Dr. Fauci and even Dr. Birx and I guess Secretary Azar and all the other actual scientists. He defies them. And he confides into Dr. Atlas, which I don't think he has like any real medical experience, but okay. Having all these COVID super spreader events. Then he proceeds to have this event at the Rose Garden to announce Amy Coney Barrett as the nominee. And keep in mind, they all had no mask on, including the First Lady. And Amy Coney Barrett's children didn't have no mask, and they probably were the asymptomatic carriers, including Amy Coney Barrett herself. Donald Trump proceeds to go to different events with no mask on, even at the first presidential debate with Joe Biden could expose the former vice president. A couple days later, he has COVID-19. Oh, but it's not stopping him to hold rallies on the balcony. having his Don't Cry For Me, I'm Argentina moment on Monday, which the Lincoln Project put it as Covita. And so he proceeds to have a rally tomorrow. Spreading COVID just even further. Just don't give a shit. He's spreading COVID to all his staff members. Still working in the Oval Office, which I don't understand why. But America, if you're listening, which I have like 4 people watching on Instagram, but it's going to be people watching on the timeline. But if you're listening, if you vote for this man, with all the stuff I just named just about COVID, and I could really dive deep into the 3.5 disastrous years that we have all suffered, most normal people. But if you vote for this man to be reelected, you are telling the founding fathers who are resting in their grave, fuck America. Let's idolize Donald Trump, the king. Oh, we don't care about democracy. We don't care about freedom. We care about worshiping Donald Trump, the scam artist. See, we New Yorkers, even some northern New Jersey folks and some southern Connecticut folks, warned the whole entire country that Donald Trump is a fraud. It so happens in 2020 it comes out. Why this information didn't come out in 2016? Who knows? Because the media was so enthused with the lying bastard that Donald Trump is. And they thought it was entertaining. No, I never thought it was entertaining. Not even when I was little growing up, watching him being this stifty asshole that he was. But of course, the 53% of the white women, I still don't forgive you. I will never forgive your vote. You voted for him. And because of your vote, because you decided to vote with your husbands in your pocketbook and not with your moral conscience, we're in the midst of a global pandemic. And we're at home. I'm doing these lives because I have to educate myself and educate people and not try to get upset and ready to fuck people up. Excuse my French, but I had to let that out. But once again, to you 53% of the white women, what the fuck were you thinking? Siding with your husbands. Looking at your pocketbook and not realizing that Donald Trump cares about Donald Trump. That he will burn everything that this country stood for. It's in the process of it now. Putting Amy Coney Barrett on that Supreme Court will hurt the democracy and the progress that we are trying to make. It will take us back 50, 60 years. Even though she's 48. That's how far back it will go. So I want y'all to think about that, you 53% of the white women. And you 8%, 12% black men, I'm talking to you too. And of course, majority, the white men, who don't want to see black people progress. So all of these groups I'm naming, the 53% of the white women, the 12% of the black men, majority of the white men, and I forgot, the small smidget of black women that voted for him and still supporting him. You have told democracy to go fuck yourself. So therefore, if you still supported him, you are deplorable, as Hillary Clinton said. Enough with my rant. I saw the VP debates Wednesday. I loved it. It was great. Of course, Kamala Harris won. She didn't get upset. She didn't get clustered. She didn't get, flustered. She didn't get, irate. She got annoyed when she got interrupted and didn't get the equal time. The moderator, once again, Susan Page, These moderators, where the fuck they come from? And usually I expect more from Chris Wallace than Susan Page. I know Susan Page, she's really kind of like weak. But Chris Wallace, I expected more from him because he actually is a good moderator. But he couldn't control Donald Trump because Donald Trump just went out of control. But then again, in 2016, Donald Trump did that same shit. And because it was Hillary Clinton, it was fine. Now that it's Joe Biden, it's embarrassing to America. And it's no shade to Joe Biden. I respect Joe Biden as the former vice president of the United States. But why this behavior was not called out in 2016, I have no idea. But back to Susan Page. Susan Page was a little biased. She was lingering to more of the former vice president. No, excuse me, not the former vice president, the vice president versus the vice presidential candidate, the sitting U.S. senator. Because they both are elected officials in their own right. So I'm not understanding what was Susan Page's problem. I don't understand it. But Mike Pence did not do a good job because according to a CNN poll, Kamala Harris almost had like 70% of favorability from that debate from all voters. I guess undecided ones too versus Mike Pence's 39%. It's almost the same tier as Donald Trump's, right? So Kamala Harris won that debate. If you want to hear substance, Kamala Harris spoke to you and she looked at the camera and she basically said the GOP is coming for you because they are coming for you. They're coming for your health care. They're coming from your paycheck. They're trying to do the payroll tax cut. That means that cuts into your Medicaid and your Social Security when you get older. And that will affect us. It won't affect our parents, but it will affect us and the Gen Z and your grandkids. So that's why I said, when you vote, make sure you know what you voted for. And if you could go to joebiden.com, he has an extensive COVID-19 plan. It's like laid out. And this is the plan that he also offered to Donald Trump to help him, but Donald Trump refused. But it invests $30 billion into K-12 schools so they can have the right proper PPE and all that stuff. So, yeah. But that sums it up. And I was going to talk about Gretchen Whitmer, but all I'm saying is white supremacy is white supremacy. Domestic terrorism is domestic terrorism. Donald Trump don't want to denounce white supremacy. We all know that. He had the opportunity about 2 weeks ago. He didn't do it. So I'm glad Governor Whitmer of Michigan called it out for what it is. But all I'm saying is we got elections coming up. Early voting in New York starts October 24th to November 1st. So if you're not registered, I think the last day was today. But I think you can still go and register online because everything is remote. If you are registered, check your registration. I just checked mine. My polling site has changed once again. It seems like it happens every 4 years. This gerrymandering crap. I hate it. It sucks. My father and I were registered at the same place. But if you can check your registration, that'd be great. And please, please vote. It's not just about the presidency, folks. It's about the legislative branch, the House, and the Senate. Even though in New York, we don't have to vote for senators until the next 2 years. But we still got to vote for congressional people. We still got to vote for state congressional people because the state ones just matter just as more because that's the state and that passes laws and everything. New York just turned blue completely. The legislature just turned blue about 2 years ago. So that's a big deal. Well as judicial courts in New York, just a whole bunch of stuff we have to vote for because we're facing 5 crises. We're facing a global pandemic resulting to a global recession. Climate change, which the sea levels are rising and it's burning in California, Oregon, and Washington. We have racial reckoning going on. You know, Breonna Taylor case is still not solved yet. And then we have a constitutional crisis. So I'm going to explain that once again. These things are on the ballot. A global pandemic resulting into a financial recession. Climate change. Racial reckoning. A constitutional crisis, including Donald Trump not accepting the results if he loses, and the Supreme Court. So these are all the reasons why you should vote. Okay? So until then, you have a good night.